everybody. Very excited to be on tonight with everybody, all our new health coaches.
And I'd also like to bring on Global Director Craig Blanchett. Craig, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Dr. A.
Awesome. Well, listen, I'm excited for everybody. Now, this is the place to be if you're a new health coach, because these guys are pros. They're going to take you through some great starting point information to get you really started in your Take Shape for Life business. And the rest of you now will go over to the training call. So you guys enjoy it. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Go for it, Lori.
All right. All right, well, hi everyone, and welcome to Starting Point. This is for all new coaches, and also if you are a coach who's been around for a while, maybe took a little break or finally realized that you're ready to build your business, this is the place for you too. This training today will be for those clients that are those coaches that are just really getting started. So, you know, for your first 1 to 10 clients, you'll want to be on this training. And we do suggest that you listen to this training a couple times. We have different hosts every week, so you get a little different feel from each time. So, you know, if you're a brand new coach, maybe watch this Starting Point training 3 times, get that clientele built up, and then move on over to the other training. I think that would be really great. So a little bit about me, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Lori Anderson, and my story is a little unique because I'm Dr. A's wife. And I do have a weight loss story though, and so I'll just share that with you. I had children kind of later on in life, and after my second child was 2, I was still 12 to 15 pounds overweight depending on the day. And I hired a personal trainer. I was working out like every day, working hard. He put me on like a Whole Foods measuring, portion size, all that, and did all that and would only lose like 1 to 2 pounds a month. So it was really frustrating. And Dr. A was in his visionary mission of looking for, you know, the program that we were going to use for this great idea that he had. And he, of course, brought this program home, got started right on it, and lost so much more weight than me right away that I just had to get on it. And my weight just came off. That 12 to 15 pounds was gone before the whole month was up. And we knew that this was the most amazing program that we could bring to the world. So that was the start. I was the first health coach. And in these last 15 years, we have seen amazing growth and transformation. And that's where we all started. So I'd like now to bring on my co-host, Craig, and he'll tell you a little bit about himself.
Yeah, thanks, Lori. Yeah, it's been fun. My kind of journey started back in 1986 when I started. I raced wheelchairs, and so I got pretty fit and was pretty focused on going fast. And in 1988, I earned one of these little guys. So this is an Olympic bronze medal from the 1988 Olympic Games. And so that was it's a pretty great experience to be that fit and that fast. And then I had a family, started, you know, kind of getting involved in the corporate world, and stopped being so fit and stopped being as fast. And so I actually went from fit and fast to a little bit flabby and fat, and gained about 50 pounds, oddly enough. And so for if you think about it, when you're using a wheelchair, you know, when you're growing out of your clothes is one thing, but when you grow out of a wheelchair, there's thousands and thousands of dollars involved there. And so I found this program and was looking to just get back into shape again. And it turned out that it not only allowed me to get fit and fast again, but it allowed me to build a new career around people and around mentoring people and around helping other people to achieve their dreams. And so the neat thing about that's been 6.5 years since that happened. So it's been quite a journey. And one of the things that's been amazing is, sure, I've been able to lose some weight, but the rest of the program is the parts that have changed me the most. And that's the things that I'm most grateful for. So that's been my story.
That is an awesome story. Thank you so much, and so inspirational. And I just thank you for all your contribution to, you know, team and the coaching and everything. So it's been great. Just starting too.
Yep, you betcha. So next up, we have some tips from coaches that were just in your shoes. It's funny it says shoes. I don't have feet, so I don't have shoes, but we'll let that one go for now, right? So we've got Alex Macmillan. He's an integrated national director, and he's part of my team. I've been working with him for a few years, and Alex came into this as a fitness professional, and so he didn't have a lot of weight to lose initially, but the weight loss piece of our program definitely impacted his life. And so one of the things I'd like for you is tell us a little bit about your health coaching journey. And then if you were to go back in time 5 years with the information you know now, what would you tell yourself? So welcome, Alex Macmillan.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on board, Craig. And hi, Lori. Good to see you again.
Hey, thanks.
Wonderful message, Dr. A and team. So yeah, this has been more than I could have ever expected, first off. Absolutely. I just have to pause for a moment. Just when you asked me that question, I went through this flashback of all these pictures. And when you and I came across each other, I was looking for a solution as a frustrated gym owner, personal trainer, and fitness expert. Honestly, the most frustrating thing was after 17 years of being in an industry, winning the top award in the industry that you can win, Program Director of the Year for the International. It was all in my head, of course. I had no idea how much personal growth I still had to do. And that's been the most humbling and exciting thing all at the same time. I'd probably say, you've wanted me to tell a little bit about my story, so I'll make that part quick. When you and I met, I didn't really think I had much to lose, or if anything. And I remember I thought I was kind of enamored by your bronze medal and your Olympics and all those 21 world records and all that stuff. And I remember standing there in my underwear in that body fat testing room with you saying, do you think I really have much to lose? And you were like, yeah, you could actually stand to lose a few pounds. And I was like, ego for a moment. And then I was like, all right, you're the athlete that's seen the leanest people. Let's see what happens. So I didn't expect much from that side as I was testing this as a solution for my gym and for all the people that I consulted. And I was shocked. 6 weeks later, the fact that I could do more pull-ups, 22 pull-ups. I'd only been able to do 15 up until that point. You remember that?
I remember you calling me going, I just did 25.
Because my body weight to strength ratio had really converted. And I know results aren't typical, but I ended up losing 18 pounds without even trying on this program in 6 weeks. And it was ridiculous. And again, there's disclaimers on that. But that was not expected. And we actually took a body fat percentage test and found out that I actually had gained 0.2 pounds of lean muscle mass without trying. So that's my backstory. I've obviously got excited like I am now. And since then, thousands of people have joined me on this journey through the coaching team. What I would say, looking back after 5 years, that I wish I knew now, that I wish I knew then that I know now, was that discomfort and fear, to make the effort to go through the discomfort and get past the fear earlier than later. And I really had some concepts in my mind, ideas and delusions that I had created about how people would receive me as a coach when I came from the fitness professional world. And honestly, I was so afraid to tell people about this because of the concept that they wouldn't like me or wouldn't receive me. And once I got over that, Craig, it took me a couple years, probably 2 or 3 years. And it probably wasn't even until even recently that fully, but 2 or 3 years. But oh my goodness, how many people were waiting for this? That'd be the number one thing.
Yeah. Alex, one other thing too is that as you're thinking about this, a lot of people that are coming into this on this call, maybe they're a new coach, maybe they're renewing themselves as a coach. And, when you think about it, if stepping into a new position, you may have some skills that you bring in, but maybe the application of those skills might be a little different. So if you can walk us through that it even though you have some skills, it's like you still have a transfer of being trained. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, that was actually interesting because I remember, again, was working with you because I was an employer and I trained a lot of people. I really made a decision on the front end with you to say, hey, Craig, in my world, I know a lot of stuff, but I know I don't know what you know. I know I don't know your system, and I believe in systems. So you may have to remind me. Remember me, I told you, like, you may have to remind me because I tend to be a little bit dominant. But I want to follow your lead, and I want to go through the steps with this. And you did have to remind me, and I appreciate it. But that's what I would say is that just like any job that you're starting or anything that you're passionate about, hobby, interest, or work of service, there's going to be a learning curve period of time. And you've got an amazing mentorship group and people. And this is the unique thing, is that they're not your employer. They're really someone that comes alongside you and has been where you want to go. And they've got a system, and Take Shape for Life has an amazing group. So I would say that, and I would say just like you would with any career, you're going to go through that mentorship, training, apprenticeship time. Embrace it.
Yep. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Lori.
Yeah, that was great sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I know that it really does make a difference if you take advantage of your coach and your mentor and really, know that they know more than you do, and just be open for that. And I bet you as a trainer, you're so used to telling everybody everything. I'm sure that was really hard for you to do. So I commend you for learning how to be coachable. Very good. So, okay, well, let's get going. So while you're waiting for your kid to arrive, what should you do? Well, you don't need to wait for your kid to arrive because there are no clients in the box. What I usually tell my coaches is let's just get into action now. Let's see if we can't find a couple clients right now for you before your kid arrives. It's kind of like a game. So let's try to do that, because really there's lots of great stuff in your kit, but there's nothing you need to have in your kit to start your first clients. So the company, what is possible in your first 30 days? Well, the company really does a great job in incentivizing the new coach to get going right away. And one of the things is they give you a client acquisition bonus, which we call a CAB bonus. You might have heard your coach already talking about that. And the way that you can get that is if you have 5 clients and their volume adds up to $1,000, which it will. 5 clients will be way over $1,000. Then you will earn, in your first 30 days, you will earn your CAB bonus, which is $100. Now, if you do this in the same month, calendar month, not only will you have, if you have 5 clients, you'll reach senior coach, which is a volume of 1,200, which for sure you should if they each get their optimal kit or a 30-day kit. Then you should have way enough volume to not only be senior coach, but to also get your CAB bonus. So what does that look like? Well, in your very first month, you can have an earnings of over $412 just by bringing on 5 clients. Now, some people, it doesn't take a whole month. Some people can bring 5 clients in a day or 2 or a week. It doesn't really matter. But if you have that goal in mind, it's something for you to go for. And what you'll be surprised is once you get that first client, you're going to realize how fun it is, how you're going to enjoy teaching this new person or coaching this new friend or colleague or family member how to start getting healthy like you have. And it's just going to cause this feeling that you're going to want to help more people. So just get out there, get those first 5 clients, and make sure that you're going to make more than the investment that you put in.
Lori, I want to speak that just for a second, because sometimes we think, where am I going to find these people? And trust me, there are more people there than you realize that are not happy with their current status. And I use this term, I'm looking for people that aren't as healthy as they wish they were and want to do something about it, because that's the same, that defines myself as well. I'm sure that defines you. I'm not as healthy. I'm healthier than I used to be, but I'm still not as healthy as I want to be. And I want to do something about it with other people. And trust me, there is more people than we know what to do with around us all the time.
Yeah. And yeah, you're just looking for the people that are looking for you. That's what I like to say, you know? So yeah, it makes it easy thinking of it that way.
Yep. So this next one, we're talking about sharing and caring. And one of the interesting things we talk about with sharing and caring is a lot of people, when you start off, you think that we have maybe you've been involved in other types of businesses where the primary focus is on a product sale, where you're trying to, I don't know, distribute something. And this business is a bit different. And our model really is focusing on mentoring. And sure, we have things that people consume. We have tools that we utilize to get the results that we want. But our primary goal is to share with somebody and really care about where they are and care about where they want to be. And I'm sure you have a little bit to say about that. You've been involved in this a while, the difference between selling and telling.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you do any not network marketing, like BNI or, networking things, that you'll see those people, they are there just to tell their stuff. They don't care about anything else. They're just going to go in there and blurb about what they do and not ask any questions about what you do and that kind of thing. And I found that, yes, we're really excited when we first get started, and you just so want to just tell everything you can possibly tell, but you don't really know what that person wants to know yet. And so it's much better to just share your story and then find out about that person so that you can see if if there's a match, if they do have those same kind of concerns as you did before you got on plan, and then you can hook them up with your coach. And we'll go about that a little bit later to be able to learn a little bit more whether or not that they would be good for the program would be a good fit for them. Mm-hmm. So yes, you don't want to sell and tell. You want to make sure that you're just sharing a little bit and then really showing that you care about their thoughts, where they're going, and what they need.
Yeah, one of the mindsets I have, and this came back in the world. I used to work as a computer. I worked for Apple for 10 years before I became a health coach. And when one of my managers said, when you go in to meet with a client, what do you have to sell them? And I thought about it for a minute, and he said, he answered his own question. He said, nothing. He goes, how do you know what you have to sell them before you know what they want? And so when I go to talk to a client, I don't go in there assuming I can help them until they tell me what they want. And it's a big difference, because then you're learning and you're getting to know them, and you're like, ooh, I can probably help them a little bit with that one. Oh, I can help them a little bit with that one too. And then as they ask for it, it makes it so much different when someone asks for help versus when you offer before they've asked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So true. So I think, did you want to talk about the share list or?
Yeah. Sure, I'd love to. The thing that I think about it when your share list is you want to start off with people. What I always think about is you've probably been on your journey for a little while, and usually people start out maybe a few weeks into their program and they decide they want to help other people. And so you've had a little bit of results. You've had a little bit of physical change that's noticeable. You might have a change in your energy level as well. There's some other things that might be going on, but it's really hard to hide the fact that you're losing weight and that you're nourishing your body and your skin starts looking good. Just all these little things that start happening when you take care of yourself. And so people are going to come up to you and they're going to say, what are you doing? And I look at those people as the first people, and I have to take a minute and think about who has really talked to me about this. Those people have already asked you the question. You just probably didn't know how to answer it yet. And so I put those people on my list first, and then I put other people on that trust me. That I have a relationship with, where there's been some trust established. And then again, you just call and usually I call and Dan Valentine said this, and it was fascinating. He said, "Well, what do you say to people when you call them?" He goes, "Hey, so what's new with you?" And everybody looks at him like, what do you, it's like, yeah, you want to make a connection with them. And so that's really what you want to do, is think of the first 3 to 5 people that are around you that aren't as healthy as they want to be, and see if you can partner up with them. Find out what that looks like and write their names down. And then your mentor will help you with the conversation about what to actually say in that call.
Thank you. Yep. Very good. So when you start chatting with some of these possible clients, they're really going to want to know the how. How much does it cost? How does it work? How long will it take? And this is when three-way communication with your coach is so important, because we really want to find out the why. We want them to, we want to show them that it's why they want to get healthy, or, instead of how is this and how is that, because really you don't really need to answer any of those questions other than it depends on what you want to accomplish. So, whether it's how does it work or how long will I be on it or any of that, the answer comes down, it really depends on what you want to accomplish. And why don't I get my coach on and we can chat about that and see if what we have is a fit for you. And go ahead.
Lori, there's kind of a funny thing, because think of this. Think of the situation. You're standing in front of them looking fabulous, and they're saying, how does it work? And you think the answer is to tell them like the nuts and bolts of the program. What if you were to stand there and turn to the side and say, it works really good? Because, the proof is standing right in front of them. How it works awesome. That's how it works. It works great. But really, and I said, well, the program works great, but the big question is, why do you ask? Is this for you or someone that you know? I love to ask that question, because oftentimes it is for them, and they'll say, no, it's for me. Well, tell me what's going on. And it leads you right into a really natural conversation where you're really trying to figure out what's their story. I bet you there's a couple of common things in their story. They've lost weight before and they've gained it back. I bet you that's a common thing with almost everybody. And then they get frustrated and think that they're not going to be able to be successful. And those are things that we have a lot of opportunity to help them, because we can partner with it in that.
Absolutely. And because you're such a new coach, or even if you are just getting back into coaching, it's so important to take advantage of your health coach who's been doing this for quite a while and can really help you talk with these clients, candidates, and really find out what they are looking for, so that then we can package Take Shape for Life towards what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this first one is the power of a three-way communication. If you think about it, one of the things that you can't have, in order to have a three-way conversation with somebody, it requires at least one thing, and that's three people, right? And so if you're trying to get, when one of the things that happens in a three-way call is that you get to be edified. So you're the new coach, and you've got a friend that asked how you've been doing this and what's going on, and you bring in your coach. I love that everybody has a coach in this program. Everybody has a coach. And so you're like, well, let's talk to my coach and see what's going on here. And then the neat thing about it is that then your coach can say things about you that if you were to say those about yourself, it's called bragging, right? And it's not cool. But the coach can say, this person's learning like crazy. They've done great on their program. What a champ. And now you're the person that's thinking about joining gets to get excited that they get to work with you. And so that's one of the most important, valuable things, is this mutual edification, where you can talk highly about somebody else and the things that they're doing. That doesn't really sound good when we do that about ourselves.
That's so true.
So that's and then they got the what. Three-way call, you want to do 5 to 7 skills that you'll develop. And so that's what happens during a three-way call. You're going to learn the rhythm of the conversation. You'll hear your mentor ask about you kind of tease out their why, and you awaken maybe something that isn't really on the surface, but really is important to them. And that is what is going to make the big difference down the road when they start getting results, and they will. If their motivation has been tied to something they don't want, as they get rid of what they don't want, their motivation also decreases. So this conversation is super important, to not talk about what they don't want, but talk about what they do want. So that can then pull when the pain of being overweight is no longer there. You want to talk about some of these other things here about when and who?
Sure. So when do you do a three-way communication? Whenever it's a good time for your client candidate and your coach and yourself. So it can be any time during the day or evening, as long as everybody's okay with that. And you can just, have certain times. Your coach might say, hey, I'm always available on Tuesdays, these times, or, you can handle that. You figure that out with your mentor coach, and then you'll know the times that they're available, so that when you have somebody that's interested in program, that you can set that up. And what you're going to do is you're going to invite them on the call, and then you're going to introduce your coach as the guru, whatever. You're going to give him lots of accolades, or her a lot of accolades, just so that this person is going to say, wow, Lori brought this really, really smart coach on to talk with me and see if it's important. So, and then your coach is going to also, like Craig said, give you some accolades of what a great coach you're going to be and how you've done so well on program. And then your friend is now going to listen to what Craig is going to say, because they know that, he knows a lot and that you're just brand new. And it just kind of has this little triad that works very, very well. Mm-hmm. And the things that you'll want to bring is that you're going to want to bring your well-being tracker, have it in front of you, because those are the questions that your health coach or mentor coach is going to be asking your client, kind of in a conversational kind of way, just to find out exactly, where this client is and what they're looking for. And then afterward, most important is to debrief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that debrief is so valuable, especially when it's right then. Here, what did you learn? What went well? What do you still need? What are you confused about? And where do we go from here? And I love those conversations. I learned so much in those.
Yeah. And what's really great about this is, for a new coach, you're not really saying very much other than introducing the two and then letting them go. So, and just listening. So, and they're really fun. I mean, once you start doing them, they're actually very fun, and you're going to really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. So, so what would it look like? Ask curious questions about their health goals. That's one of the ways that you can, spark up kind of an icebreaker conversation I have with people is, even if they're complete strangers, is, when was a time in your life when you were as healthy as you can remember? Just a great, like, coffee, you're sitting around a party or whatever, and just take a little survey, and then they'll tell you about it and say, so what would it look like if you could be that way again? Oh, wow. And so you can awaken a couple of desires. Hey, well, I'm working on my health stuff too, and maybe we can partner up. And then, so there's lots of ways where you could draw that out. You want to share the value of your health coach experience, because your health coach, the neat thing about it is we all are reading the same habits of health. We all did the same 5-in-1. If we did the 5-in-1, it was the same 5-in-1, right? And so our program is consistently awesome, and so we know about it. We can share those experiences with each other, and then obviously the excitement about why we'd want to talk to our coach, because if this person becomes a client, we'll be their coach, and we're modeling the fact that we have a coach too. So everybody has a coach, and that's one of the things that separates us from the companies out there that are offering products only. Right? We offer this mentorship to actually walk them through, because the products come and go, but our health is really what needs to stay.
So true. Very true. So we kind of already went through this a little bit, but how you invite on the three-way conversation would be just as easy as, I'm just a new health coach and I'm learning the basics. And my health coach has been around for a long time. He's helped me get as healthy as you see now. And I just love him to death. And I know that he would love to go over the program and see if it's a fit. Mm-hmm. Just that easy.
Just that easy. Yep. And don't make up. I mean, literally, if you stuck with just that and you actually did it, watch and see. People will go, okay. It's really that simple. So common scenarios, we talked about this a little bit. How much does it cost? And imagine if you were to go to buy a car and you walked up to the salesperson and you said, I need to buy a car. How much does it cost? The salesperson would say, well, 4 doors or 2 doors. Do you want 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel? I mean, what? They just don't know. So you really can't say what it costs. And for them, some of you, most people use the 5-in-1 program. So there is a pretty predictable cost. But what if they don't? What if their health conditions don't allow the 5-in-1 to be adequate for them, or it's not the right program? It's going to cost different. And so when someone says, how much does it cost? It really depends on what you want and what your current health condition is. So let's talk about that, and then we'll figure that out. And those are things that I see very common. And one of the health coaches, when he found out that he was going to be a good 5-in-1 candidate, he says it's the cost of groceries plus about $25. And it was like, all of a sudden, that just seemed like such a simple way of saying it, because everybody buys groceries. So cost of groceries plus maybe a little bit more, and super simple once you figure out what program they need.
Mm-hmm. And just be genuine when you're talking to them and inviting them, to talk with your coach. Just, don't make it look contrived or anything, because it's not, because you're really learning more about them, and your coach is so good at doing that's why you want to invite them on. So, just make it natural. Hey, I'd love you to feel as good as I do. Let's get on with my coach who helped me so much, and see if it's not something that you wouldn't love to do too.
Mm-hmm.
Easy as that.
Exactly. So things that you'll be hearing, what are you looking to accomplish? This is some of the things that you'll be hearing as a new coach, listening to your mentor interview your candidate. What are you looking to accomplish? Actually, some of these are I know you have some of these that are favorites of yours. And so how would these look for you? And what are some of your favorites that you like here, Lori?
Well, I do love what are you looking to accomplish, because I think that really opens up the conversation with that possible client to really find out what they are looking for. Are they just looking to lose weight, feel better? And then you can dig in further, like, oh, what will that do for you if you lose that 20 pounds? What will you be able to do with that? So yes, if they just say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, that's not, it's what that 20 pounds is going to do for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
what I love in that question as well is I'll ask them, so what are you looking to do? They'll say, I need to lose 20 or 30 pounds, whatever it is. And I'll ask them, the next question is, have you done that before? And most of them will say yes. And I'll say, so if what happened, did you do it before? Because usually the first question they're thinking about is, I just want to lose the weight. But what they really want is they want to learn how to maintain a healthy weight. And that's where our program it just sings. That is really where the power of our program shows up strongly.
Yeah, exactly. Because as you're going to start finding out about what they want to accomplish, that's what you're going to say. So you want to just keep this off now. They're going to probably say that they've been on a roller coaster, or they've tried this and it didn't work, or they never actually complete a program. You want to know all these things so that you can really give them that feeling of assurance that they're going to be able to stick with this. You're going to be there for them, or their coach is going to be there for them. And we have this great community that we all pull together and, cheer each other on. The other question on there, just so we can move on, but I do like, is the other questions about their health. Like, how is your sleep and your energy? And do you have a stressful job? I like to find those things out, just because then I also know what other healthy habits do they need to improve on. And if their job is stressful, that also kind of can put a little thing in your head that, oh, they might want to become a health coach and get out of their job. So there's just all these questions here really just helps you learn about your new client, or your hopefully to be client, so that you can coach them the best you can.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Excellent. So let's see here. Well, how about that? So the next one here, my slides, how about that? It'll come back. So, so next up, we're going to talk about just understanding what's best for the client. We've got some different offerings, and so I'm sure you can go into our different types of kits that we offer.
Yeah, I will. So now you have your first client, and what are you going to offer them? Well, what we like to do is just keep it as simple as possible. And because your new client doesn't really know what they're going to like, we love the optimal kits. And there's a couple different ones. There's your classic optimal kit, which is the favorites kit that we've had since the beginning of our company started. And then we have our new Optiv Via optimal kits for those people who have a little bit more of a preference to no artificial colorings and sweeteners and all of those things. So what you want to do is, as you ask questions to find out what program is best for them, you're going to ask them maybe like, well, how do you shop, and what kind of foods do you like, and just kind of feel them out a little bit. And if they're the ones that really like to eat, go to Whole Foods and get all organic and all of that, then I would really suggest the Optimal Kit. I mean, the Optiv Via Optimal Kit. I think that one's the one for them. If they just eat snack food and just are poor eaters, I would bring them both up and just see what they want to do. They might want to mix and match. They might want to stay with the classic. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that they get what they want and that they're happy with it. So that's usually how I go about it. I don't push one way or another. I just offer it all up because it's all good. It all works.
Yeah, what I love about the new, we have 2 price points as well. And so some people, we have a second option. Whereas before we have these new Optiv Via kits, we had kind of one price point for our 5-in-1. And now I've started with the Optiv Via ones, people that talk about that. And if money was an issue, we can go down to our traditional classic, line that works awesome. I mean, that's how all of us, that's all the program that we've used all along. So I love having the 2 options for us now.
And I think as a new coach, you really try not to pick and choose each product for each day. Using those 2 kits are great. And I do believe it saves them a little money if they get the optimal kits too, and they get the book and the workbook already in there, which your clients are going to want. So it's just a one-click for you. It makes it easy for you to place that order, and it makes them see that it's easy, because you really want your client to see how easy it is to become a client.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're talking a little bit about the power of story. And one of the things that I found to be inspired, inspiration is the most powerful tool I think we have. And I'm inspired more by stories than anything else. I think when you go watch, the movie Toy Story or and the movie Rudy or any of these great movies, there's someone's story and it inspires you. And so believe it or not, when you began this program, or you started working on your own health and started making some changes, you were creating a story that people were watching. And so as you're living out your story, we'll teach you actually how to condense it down so that it's a really powerful story and that it's succinct. And one of the things that I think is the most powerful words that people could ever say is, maybe it's a coworker and they've been watching you and they're thinking, that person's been overweight for a long time and they're doing it. And I heard this story, this statement, if so-and-so can do it, I can do it. And those are some of the most powerful words that have ever been spoken. And that's when you inspire somebody to begin and to jump in and to make a difference.
And your story is always evolving. So, the new things that are happening, like let's say your story at first was that you lost 50 pounds. Your story now is that you've lost 65 and can play golf again. Or, it's always evolving. So always keep, track of the pluses, because sometimes we take for granted that all of a sudden, we're doing new things and enjoying other things. Because we've had this one story we've talked about, we'll add to it as you go along. And one thing I just want to say about ordering your kits for these new coaches is I forgot to also mention the B Slim Club. The B Slim Club is a must, because with the B Slim Club, they get free shipping, they get 5 free boxes of food. And so you want to make sure with those optimal kits that you choose, whether it's the Optiv Via or the classic favorites, you want to put them on the B Slim Club, because that's where the savings is too. So I just want to make sure I got that in, because that would be.
I found it's really a great thing too, because it makes sure they don't run out of food. Because if they run out of food, it takes them 2 to 3 days to get themselves back into fat burn. And we don't, if you can just stay in fat burn, it's way better than going in and out. And so I love the fact that they know it arrives. Actually, I love getting them every month. I love getting my box.
And I like the rewards too that you get. So the money off your next order. All right.
So next up, we're going to go over some action steps. Where do we go from here? And really, if you follow these action steps, one of the things that'll happen in your life is you're going to have a really sense of well-being, because you're going to go to bed at night knowing that you've helped somebody's life get better. And so the thing about inviting people, and you've identified to the three-way call, is you get to actually ask them about their life, and you get to care about them in a pretty personable way. And if they join us, they're going to start seeing these results. And that's one of the best things. I mean, I love making great living. I love having some time freedom, and I love my personal fitness and health. But when I hear about my clients and the things that they're able to do, it is really, really special. Why don't you, if you have a few things to share on that, and cover some of these as well?
It is. It's just so rewarding to be able to help others. So get right out there and start thinking about those 3 to 5 people that you want to talk to this week, and not stop with there. That's just the beginning. We just want you to get going, but then we'll also want you to make a contact list of everybody you can think of, because there's going to be people that you thought, oh, he's thin and he doesn't need it, but maybe he eats really poorly and would love the Optiv Via program, and maybe his brother or sister or wife is very out of shape and very unhealthy and would really need it. So you never want to not share it with anybody. You don't know where their life is, so you should never assume. Okay, you want to just put everybody on that list and go for it. And then you just touch base with your coach. Don't try to do this alone. I find the coaches that try to do it alone move much, much slower than those that join and as a team, and plus it's more fun doing it with your coach.
When you think about moving slow or moving fast, really, when we say moving fast, it means you're changing more lives. And so when you move fast, it's mean you're helping more people. And that's just more stories you get to when you put your head down on the pillow at night. You have more smiles on your face, it seems like, because you have more people that you're helping and you're connected with, and they become part of your community too. And so it's this give and take that is really, really powerful.
It is, because the only difference between Craig and I and you out there is that we've just talked to more people. So okay, and then debriefing. Why is that so important to debrief with your coach, Craig, after your 3-week?
Well, that's where you learn at a very accelerated rate. You get to quickly get into the things that weren't quite right, and you get to shape them up a little bit, and then you get to talk about what's next. And sometimes we'll even do a role play, or I'll say, you see how when they asked this question, I said that. Did you expect that? No. Well, here's why I did it. And all of a sudden you get this vision into the future. And so your learning is at a I don't know what X factor, 10X factor or something. But I love the debriefs, and they're pretty short, just a couple little things, and then you move on to the next one. And it's super exciting.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So next slide, let's talk about.
So this is probably going to finish up with this slide here. And one of the things that we've done with the Optiv Via 30 is 30 days worth of the new Optiv Via fuelings. And it's integrated into a lifetime of optimal well-being. And so one of the neat things that we have, if you haven't signed up for this, even if you lost your weight, it doesn't matter really where you're at in your program, text that number at the bottom, Optiv Via 30 to 99000, and you'll start getting daily text messages with little micro habits, little tips and little things and reminders and all these different resources that really help them to be connected into our community. Because if they try to become healthy on their own, they'll have a far more difficult time than if they connect to this new community. Have you experienced some of those yet, Lori?
Yeah, and this is something that you can offer not only to your new clients, but also your existing clients, or and for yourself. You should get on it. It's just going to help them be integrated into all of our support, so that they really see the community. And your old clients maybe didn't ever get on a support call before or anything like that, and now all of a sudden they're getting these texts to remind them about getting on the support call. So it's just so helpful for you as a coach, just like the support videos are. So I would definitely take advantage of it. And plus the booklet, the Optiv Via guide, we really didn't talk about that, but if your clients order just even one box of Optiv Via, they're going to get the new Optiv Via guide, which really is like a quick start book and everything put together. It's an amazing guide. So you want to make sure that, when they get their BSM Club, if they just ordered the regular classic variety kit, optimal kit, then their 5 free boxes can be Optiv Via. and they can be at the same price as their regular boxes. So it's a great way to introduce them to Optiv Via and get the Optiv Via guide and really get, there it is.
There's a picture of the guide, the Optiv Via guide, and it really is it's got little daily tips and it's more than just like the quick start guide. It's really powerful.
Yeah, so make sure that happens. And then we do, if you can go to the very last, some people are asking how to find the trainings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can end on that. There. So people I saw in the chat were asking like where are all the trainings recorded and where the support calls reported. So you can find all your trainings right there in your Office in Motion. And you can find the support calls on your front page. You don't even have to go to your back office, just on the front page under support. And you can pull down, I think the last 4 are there. So that's where you can find them.
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to conclude it. Thank you. It's been a pleasure co-hosting with you, Lori. What an honor it is and a privilege. And so I hope that you guys take us, take us at our word and actually go out and think about the lives that are going to change in the process of you learning not only to take good care of yourself and learning these habits, but then learning also the skills of helping other people. And super, super rewarding and exciting thing to do. So.
Yeah, it is. Best thing I've ever done. We're so glad you're part of the team now. You guys go out and get America healthy.
That's right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.